Welcome to the 6th session of the People's Parliament, seated here at the Pacific Hotel in Kapchorwa. This is a platform where Ugandans air their views and share their opinions on issues that affect them and their communities and policies of national importance. Agnes Nandutu, the Speaker of People's Parliament, presides. Madam Speaker, there is a cultural practice that happens especially in the communities of Sabiny and Pokot as an initiation of girls ages 10 to about 14 into womanhood, a precondition for marriage. This practice is called female genital mutilation, a very cruel and inhumane culture practice that sometimes leads to death of the victims. It is against this background, Madam Speaker, that I propose we discuss the topic of female genital mutilation, which is culture versus health and human rights.
Those in favor, aye. To the contrary, no? Aye. Ayes have it. Yes, you are welcome once again to NTV People's Parliament, this time sitting here in Kapchorwa, in fact, Sabine sub-region. If you see me looking like this, don't get worried. I have become the daughter of the soil here in Kapchorwa district. This is a very important topic that has affected not only Sabine sub-region, but also has extended up to Karamoja, and this is what we are discussing. Female genital mutilation here in Sabine sub-region. I would like to get an expert from street program who has been here for many years fighting against female genital mutilation. Honorable, can you take the podium and give us, in 4 minutes, please, can you give us what has happened, how you started, and how far you have come?
Honorable Beatrice Chelangat, and have been working on FGM for the last 19 years. We started in 1996, and this year, 2014, is actually the 19th year. Yeah, the practice of female genital mutilation came to me as a harmful practice as early as when I was 5 years old. I was in a church and the reverend was preaching against female genital mutilation. Down the road, as I grew up, I started witnessing girls undergoing the ritual. And the last one that I saw was in 1984 when I was in P7.
Were you at that time ripe to go undergo the culture also?
Not yet. Yeah, so I saw a woman, after being escorted from the river where she had gone for cleaning up, she came, lay with her legs open. A very old woman who had not even washed her hands came with a knife, as another one carried a plate holding yeast, which was poured to this woman's genital parts. And immediately, the old woman with the knife started cutting off the clitoris down to the labias, both the inner and the outer labias. And as this woman stood firm without blinking her eye, and she started bleeding thereafter, as the old woman was cutting, moved on to other girls who had lined up, and she started bleeding until she fainted. And as she fainted, relatives started running with blankets. Her mother started running with a gourd of milk. And they rushed her.
That was a very horrifying situation.
It was so horrific to the extent that I was not able to eat meat for the next 1 month. Actually, I didn't eat meat on the Christmas day because my memories of these body cuts being cut and a lot of blood coming and this woman fainting tortured me.
Is that what motivated you to fight against FGM?
Yes, it is one of the bases that made me fight against FGM.
So how far have you come, and how do you look at the situation as now, many years down the road, fighting and mobilizing people to reject this very harmful culture?
I'll begin from what I saw. It made me think twice. If I remained a village wife, a village girl who would undergo FGM and maybe get married, I knew I would not help anybody. So I got determined to read up to university level, because then nobody would listen to a woman. So I knew the power of the pen would lift me high to the extent that people would listen to me. So in 1988, that's when I started my senior 4, is when the district passed a bylaw banning FGM. That was another scare to me. So I quickly decided I need to perform very well so that I go in for HSC. And down the road, we had the constitution making with a lot of noise. And by the time I finished university...
Honorable Beatrice,
yes,
just because
Madam
of
Speaker.
time, since you started this program of sensitizing people to get rid of this vice, have you made progress? Has it gone down?
According to my analysis, a lot of progress has been made. From my experience, I knew the best cure to FGM is the education of the girl child. When we began the REACH program, we asked girls who are models in the community to apply as change agents. We recruited 354 girls, and we took these girls through the life skills program and to encourage them to remain at school. Even if you got an accident of being pregnant on the way, don't stop there, go back to school. And I'm happy most of these girls made it to the university, and they are now role models in the community.
Thank you, Honorable Beatrice. You'll come back again to give us more information. I think
very
you have
much,
heard for
Madam
yourself
Speaker.
how this culture is practiced. But what is the genesis of this culture? I want to have somebody from any honorable member who want to give us the genesis. How did this begin?
Madam Speaker, may I inform the Honorable House that this FGM practice started many years ago, before, when Sabiny were living a nomadic life. As a nomad, people used to go and live in far distance, hunting, grazing cattle, and to leave their families at home. After they discovered the gentilia could be a way of controlling, curbing women from going out of their marriage, is by having them mutilated. Since it is a culture which was for a purpose at the time, for instance, I believe it is obsolete, and we should live with modernity.
So, according to you, you were mutilating these girls in order for them not to go outside and get other men when you are still doing
when
hunting.
we are still doing other things like grazing.
But you still support this culture to continue?
But since at current moment, the Sabiny no longer live nomadic life, they don't live pastoral life, they don't longer go for hunting, they live settled life, I believe FGM should be outlawed.
Come over and give information. Could you please, Honorable, take 1 minute to give us information?
Madam Speaker, my name is Honorable Mwanga Philip. Information is that during the Asian time, when the Sabines were living in Egypt, during the time of Pharaoh, the Pharaoh had many women. He saw that when he cuts the genital, and then again they intouched. They saw the genital not to let another man to go in or to penetrate.
So you mean whatever you were doing, whatever you're doing the handing, were you not going around with other women also?
In Sebei culture, it was not allowed to go with other women's culture unless you are married to those women.
Okay, thank you for that information. Yes, go ahead with your point, Honorable Member.
Madam Speaker, I was still elaborating on my point. But since FGM was a practice which was to preserve a culture and preserve a people during that time.
And keep a woman in captivity, you should say.
And we realized that by then, the genesis of human rights had not come. People had not so much got informed. We realized that since it was against rights of life, rights of pains, there are so many things attachment to it. We realized that FGM should be a culture which is already deteriorating and growing older, that we need to adapt to new cultures which are developmental.
Thank you, Honourable Member, for that point. Yes, Honourable Member, what is do you still support this culture in the region to continue taking place, or you want us to eliminate it?
Well, basing on the historical perspective, to add on a little information basing on what my brother just mentioned, this FGM, it's not actually FGM, it's called circumcision. FGM was just added by activists who wanted to make man out of the whole game. It started during the great pharaonic wars in Egypt. You know the Sabiny, they actually historically they refer to as the Sebei. If you read those ancient books about Egypt and the pharaonic wars, they were actually the bodyguards. The Sabiny were the bodyguards of the pharaoh. So during those pharaonic wars, they were preoccupied most of the time in war. They had to seek a solution to control the libidos of their wives back home. It was during the pharaonic wars. Now, increasingly as time morphed, this culture also...
But do you still support the culture to continue
well,
as a man who is born in Kapchorwa and raised in Sabiny?
Naturally, time would eliminate this vice if it had been handled well. Now, at this point, in as far as bringing a law which is actually violating the human rights of these women who are circumcising of the girls, one thing that you must understand, Agnes, Madam Speaker, it is a very powerful spirit. Once it gets into a girl's head, nobody can stop it, that circumcision thing.
So it is the spirit driving girls to get circumcised?
No, it's a spirit that nobody understands. We shall only understand when we go to heaven. Because it's God who understands where it came from.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Can I have a lady on the podium? Can I have a lady on the podium speak, please? A lady from, are you coming from Amdat, please? Come in front. You can remain there. Come and take on the podium. Honourable Member, you are the ones who go through this gruesome culture. What do you talk about it as a lady?
This is the thing which was being practiced by the grandfathers and the grandmothers, and these are the people who are forcing girls to be circumcised. The reason is because they want that dowry. You know, if the girl is circumcised, they will be paid more, you see. So these girls are forced to go for what? FGM. And it's not circumcision, it's supposed to be called FGM because you are totaling somebody's parts. And you know, girls there are suffering, crying for help.
I remember you were from Amdat.
Yeah.
Did you escape the culture or you have gone through it?
I escaped it.
How did you manage to escape?
Because my parents took me to school. Yeah, that's why I escaped FGM. And I'm sympathizing with these younger ones.
And that's why you are on the...
Yeah, that's why we are now fighting for it.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Which point do you want to make?
I wanted Madam Speaker, I'm just requesting this House. If a woman who is circumcised can address us, that is one.
Where are they? Where are they?
Because somebody who is circumcised, who have ever gone under FGM, can tell us.
Yes, Honourable Member, when you talk about this, those who are watching People's Parliament, when you talk about female genital mutilation and how harmful it is, you may think we are just making drama. But we have one person who has actually gone through the culture and wants to give us information. Yes, Honourable Member.
Honourable Chebet Siada from Queen District, Kapchorwa Sub-County. I am going to tell you something which is hurtable in my heart.
Please say out your points, Honourable Member.
I cry these cries to you. Take a head to the President. This is a harmful thing really, but it is our culture.
Do you still want the culture to continue?
It will reduce slowly, when we begin teaching our people. It will reduce slowly, but not arresting people. I am seeing children.
Honourable Member, just to interject, you have gone through the culture and you say it is really harmful and painful. Would you like your daughter to go through the same?
I will not yet. I will not allow my daughter But I will reduce it slowly by telling the people to stop this female genital mutilation slowly, but not arresting them.
Thank you, Honorable Member. You are still watching NTV People's Parliament, and you can see the debate is hot in here. There are those who have gone through the circumcision, there are those who have escaped, and they are all here to tell us their stories. Let's go for a short break, and when we come back, we are going to hear more stories from these people who have gone through the culture. Welcome back. You are still watching NTV People's Parliament, sitting here in Kapchorwa district in Sabiny sub-region, discussing the problems of female genital mutilation. As you are aware, according to which program, since 1990 to 2012, about the statistics show about 7,000 girls have been mutilated here in Kapchorwa. And we are still hearing testimonies from these people who are going through this very, very horrible, or should I say, very harmful culture. According to the human rights activists, it's really a violation of human rights. And it is really a health hazard. So, Honorable Member, could you give us your story? Have you gone through it? Have you escaped? And how did you manage?
I am one that comes from a community that this practice can still continue if not monitored well. For my case, I know what it means by FGM. FGM, it is not because the females feel they should undergo it. It is all pressure from the males, and the males say, since I'm a circumcised man, the woman I marry should also be mutilated.
Is it sure that you people, you want to marry only circumcised women?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So for that case, that case, Madam Speaker, the males are circumcised for hygiene, but they feel the females should also be mutilated in order for them to get clean. All the females all over the world are not mutilated apart from Sebei region.
I have 2 women, circumcised and uncircumcised.
Give your order on the microphone. What is your order?
I have 2 women, the circumcised one and uncircumcised one.
And which one do you...
How did she come to know that uncircumcised one is good and the circumcised one is bad?
Between the 2 women, the circumcised and the uncircumcised, which one is good for you?
The one which is beautiful is circumcised one, and the sweet.
So for that case, Madam Speaker, I would love to tell the August House that the hygiene of a woman does not come from mutilating a woman, but it comes from how one cleans herself. So for that case, don't tell our women to go for FGM for the sake of getting clean. And I feel when you're mutilating these women, you're harassing them sexually in a case that for them they will not enjoy what you feel you're enjoying. For that case, what I would love to say is this.
Can I have Honorable Member take the platform? There is the Honorable Member who wants to bring you to order.
Yes.
Madam Speaker, I have a circumcised woman and the one who is not circumcised. The story she's giving out is not true. The thing is, if you are not educated, you are not employed, and you are in a rural setting, automatically you'll be forced to be circumcised, because this is a culture which is deeply rooted. So I would like to inform the lady that the statement you are giving a very wrong advice. The one inch.
Thank you.
Should I still continue?
Just a moment, Honorable Member. You have heard from the point of order. As a lady, what is your testimony?
For me, I'm a senior woman, Sebei or Sabiny woman, which is clean. FGM is not a problem.
As for you, you still support the culture?
I'm supporting the culture, but as per now, the main point is to take our children to school. You know, the problem we have is when the time of school, some parents can pay school fees for the boys first, the girls be later. This thing is going to die slowly. But don't abuse the women who pass through this exercise.
I can see you are a father, and you look a leader, and you look an elder. Do you still support this culture in this region?
We have our sisters that we got circumcised the same time, that is early 70s. And they got problem, Madam Speaker. Up to now, they are paralyzed. We realized that the issue was not actually correct, Madam Speaker. And I want to say, Madam Speaker, that this is not historically, it is not God's given law. Madam Speaker, allow me to speak, Madam Speaker. It was not
order in the house.
It was not God's purpose, Madam Speaker, for a woman to be mutilized, to be circumcised, Madam Speaker. History reveals that it was Abraham, Madam Speaker, who was given a promise of circumcision. But nevertheless, there's nowhere, Madam Speaker, where it speaks that a woman was circumcised. Only that the concept of Sabiny himself, Madam Speaker, so this woman was to be circumcised. And I want to say this point, Madam Speaker. Even the circumcised have been abandoning their families, Madam Speaker. Even the circumcised, likewise the uncircumcised. So there's no reason to stand on that point, Madam Speaker, that the circumcised woman. Allow me to speak, Madam Speaker. And I say, Madam Speaker, it is only that when the law was enacted, Madam Speaker, it did not give time for the Sabine community to understand.
I want to bring somebody who has been really disabled by mutilation. Can she be carried in front? Carry her in front here. Can you bring for a microphone, please? Those who are watching NTV People's Parliament, we have told you that female genital mutilation is not only a human right violation, but it also causes long-term health implications. And in front of me here, I have a lady who was mutilated, and up to now, I'm told she is crippled. Please, Honorable Member, can you give your story to the Honorable House? And I want everybody quiet.
Madam Speaker, if I see people with talking because of circumcision, I feel to cry because of suffering. If I see the way of suffering, I take circumcision 76. I stay. I deliver my firstborn, second one, then the third one. My legs started. I started sitting down. Then I go to the hospital. They said that maybe circumcision. My friends started walking like me. The friends which they circumcised with me. We are three. The badness, I don't know English properly. If I talk...
We are hearing you well, Honorable Member. Just speak up your mind.
Okay. Then that time, my friends started. Even them, they go to the hospital. They said that maybe circumcision. We stay like that. Then my friends die. Another one died this week, Saturday. Then next Saturday, another one died.
They all died because of mutilation?
Yes, 2 of them.
You hear, Honorable Members? Go ahead.
Then me, I stay. I started going to the church. Then God helped me up to now. Now, I stay. Since that time, I am not working. I can stay outside since morning up to sunshine.
What would you advise other people in this region?
I'm telling them that I don't want to hear girls which they are circumcised. If they say, if I hear like that, if that time I was hearing that they said that they have to take some people to prison, I feel to them to stay there, even to die from there, because of suffering. If I see the way I'm suffering, even you, my mama, if you are here, then you are agree you are girl to circumcise, it is your sorry. Because if you see the way I'm suffering, I don't want. I'm telling all people that let us stop circumcision. I have nothing to say.
Yeah, this is one out of the hundreds of girls here who have gone through a female genital mutilation and they have been disabled. She's one of them who can come out and speak to the people. This debate is very hot here in Kapchorwa. Let's go for a short break, and when we come back, we are going to talk about the law. Since this law was passed in Parliament in 2009, has it done something? Is it being implemented? Is the law taking its course? Are the people who are taking this girl through this very gruesome culture being arrested? Welcome back. You are still watching NTV People's Parliament, sitting here in Kapchorwa talking about female genital mutilation. Before we left, people have been talking about the bad law, how people are being arrested. So we want to know, since this law was passed in Parliament in 2009, which impact has it caused on the ground? Honorable Member.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and the people of Kapchorwa at large. We are happy with the law. And the big problem we have with the law is, even the very implementers of the law do not know more about the law. Even the police itself, they were not first sensitized about the law. They were not oriented into the law before they could take the law into action. More so, even the people who were basically, whom the law was made for, were not sensitized about the law. This is not fair. You cannot bring arrest before you sentence the person about why you are arresting the person. That is why we have an arrest warrant. What is the warrant? The warrant will be the sensitization of the people of Sebei about the law. If you bring me into arrest and you tell me I'm arresting you because of genital mutilation, and I am not aware of the law, what does the law apply? Like, for example, children are suffering today in Sebei region because of their mothers being arrested, and they were arrested without being what? Sensitized about the law. And this is where we are going to mess in Uganda today.
So the law is good?
Yes. I have no problem with the law, but the only problem I have is sensitization of the people about the law.
Thank you, Honorable Member. What is your opinion on the law that was passed in Parliament?
My name is Honorable Mangush Lawrence. My opinion about the law is people are not aware about the law. Even when you go to courts of law, the magistrates still consult. There is some act of 2010. They are still consulting, meaning that even them, they are not aware about the FGM law. However, what brought me here was just to briefly say about the genesis of FGM. That before, so many years ago, there was a woman who was called Chero, who became very sick. And as a result, the elder said, what we needed to do about this girl is to just cut the tip of the clitoris, that she will cure. And he did. She cured.
Ladies, where are you?
Please, Madam Speaker, what is current now? The circumcision of today is not of, that was exercised to the girl called Cherop.
What's the difference? Can you clearly tell us? In the past and today?
The other one was removing the clitoris alone. But the current one is removing the labia majora and then the labia minora.
So which one is more harmful than the other?
The current one is more harmful.
So do you support it?
I support the other one. I don't support this one.
So how far, what is your opinion? Order, honorable members, what is your opinion on the law?
The stopping FGM should be optional and should be gradual. I wanted to speak about the disabled woman. She's my cousin sister. She's my real cousin sister. And the four of them were my relatives. And I happened to have actually interviewed some of them when they were alive. And some of them managed to tell me that in the line, all of the four of them who took circumcision that very day, there was a woman who happened to have been a mentor who actually practiced witchcraft on them because they were not given all of their things. FGM is not caused by circumcision. I mean, paralysis is not caused by FGM. Even any other person who can take an operation in the hospital.
But she was disabled after mutilation.
There are so many people. Actually, a health worker is there. He can even tell us that it is not only out of FGM that you can get paralysis, but you can also go to the hospital. When you are operated, you can get paralysis.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Your time is out. You are the regional police commander in this region.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
And since the law banning FGM was passed in Parliament in 2009, has it caused any impact? And if it hasn't, what are the challenges that you people, authorities, are getting in implementing this law?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Since this FGM came into law, I think the impact is that majority of people have gone to schools. And now those who have gone to schools, they have escaped the knife. And those from far deep villages are the ones which are still practicing this FGM. This is what we are seeing. And I really do concur. I do concur that sensitization should be the biggest things which we should be doing. And we are still doing the sensitization over radios. Madam Speaker, one point I was given a picture which was captured by one of the nurses, that is from Buko, where a lady was circumcised, and if you really look at the lady, you can't believe this is a cruel manner of handling human beings. And I think it is a violation of human rights, which we think, since the law is in place, we as the police officers, we are only to enforce the law which is in place.
Which challenges have you got in the course of implementing
the
this
challenges
law?
which we have is the cooperation, the flow of information from the members of the public to the police. And that's why we are now using the crime preventers to get us information, those who are still trying to continue with the FGM. And that's why in Buko we managed to arrest, I think, 5. Yeah, in Buko 5. They were in court, in jail right now as I talk. Their CRB is 432 of this year. They pleaded all guilty, and I think their case is coming on the 8th for judgment. And in Kapchorwa, they arrested 8. Now the 8 all pleaded guilty to the offense, and they were sentenced each to 4 years.
Do you think this law needs some amendments, or you think it's a good law that can really get rid of this FGM?
Madam Speaker, I think the law is to deter others from doing the wrongful thing. To me, I think we should advocate for stopping the FGM, but not to advocate for FGM to go ahead.
Thank you, Afande. I'll call you back to give more information. Yes, you are the health educator in this region.
Yeah.
Can you give us some of the challenges you're facing? What is your opinion on the law?
Madam Speaker, my name is Yeko Cherkut. I am a retired health educator. Madam Speaker, there were laws, the first resolution of the council, which made a helicopter to come, saying female circumcision and male circumcision is compulsory. But then we carried out advocacy until it was made optional. It remained optional and things were moving. So when this law came, this one now criminalizing female genital mutilation, I want to inform this house that the majority of our people still support it because behavior change takes time. It is a slow process. Now, using this law, those hardliners, the traditional hardliners, will mobilize the majority against to resist against FGM.
So you think the law should not...
It should be there, but optional for adult women above 18.
But the law can't be optional.
It is optional, like the other council, things were cool. But criminalizing this one, you arrest, you leave the children there, this is very painful. There's a being very bitter about it. Let the things die. Let it die naturally. You see, these teeth were removing during our age. But because people were decampaigning it, the thing has died naturally. No law has been made stopping this. So with this one, I believe, and I won't give you the negative impact. They are secretly circumcising. In Ngenge, they are circumcising women using one knife, 3 women. This is spreading HIV. But if it was open optional, the health workers would monitor and they would circumcise one woman, one knife. So this one now.
Thank you, Honorable Beatrice. Can I have you on the podium? Yes, Honorable Member. What is your opinion on the law? Do you think it is a bad law? Do you support the law too?
To me, thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Honorable William Cheptoek. Before this law was passed, it was first it was sensitized. People were sensitized. Actually, they had meetings from the grassroots before it was taken to what? Parliament. Now, Madam Speaker.
Can he make his point first?
Madam Speaker, to me, I support the law because I want the girl child to enjoy her freedom. She has to enjoy a freedom to live. I am very surprised that there are only men who are talking and they don't know the fail these women are facing through. Because if you're objecting or you are ordering me to say something into your interest, I think that's not right. Because if we were really human beings, human rights are inherent, and Madam Speaker, human rights are inherent, and it's not given by any other human being.
Order in the House.
So if it is a fundamental human right, then why should people say it's a bad law? But however, on the other side, we urge the police, at least the way they also practice or put this law into implementation. They should not torture, because it is believed, it's alleged, that during the exercise of executing this law, police always torture. They don't get the people in the way they are supposed. For instance, when you get someone who is mutilated, you can't just rush her. You can't just grab her in the way you
Thank you for that information, Honorable Member. Come. Yes, Honorable Beatrice, you have been at the helm of fighting FGM in the Sabine sub-region and beyond. What is your opinion on the law? Do you think the law is good? Is it helping you actually to fight this vice?
Yeah, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. The speaker who was here participated in the 1988 council session, if I remember. If not, he was working in Kapchorwa local government then. Analysis was done, and in 1989, the very council passed a law making FGM option. In 2000, November 15th, the council members of Kapchorwa local government then wanted to pass it as an illegal or totally banning it. But the challenge they had was they had not done a ground consultation. So from 2004 up to 2008, Rich was asked to work out ways of reaching the local councils. And we didn't know how. We told the community, can you guide us? How do we do it? I'm not a lawyer by profession. The leaders at that level said, no, we want to sign a memorandum demanding that the local councils resolve to ban FGM. Then the sub-county council passes bylaw. Then the district passes an ordinance. And then the parliament passes what? A law. Slowly, from 2004, we moved on from village to village, from sub-county to sub-county.
What you want to tell this Honorable House is there was
I want to tell them
sensitization?
that there was a bottom-up approach to coming up to a law banning FGM. And even when it reached Parliament, the members of the Equal Opportunities Committee came to this very Pacific and shared with the people the proposed law. After that, before the second reading in Parliament, the very members of the Gender Committee in Parliament came and held consultations with our people here in Kapchorwa, in Bukwa, in Amudat. And I'm happy we have a councillor from the Karamoja region. You need to give him opportunity. And after that, the Parliament said, okay, we've got the consultation. What about the consent of the president? We had all the members of the Sabiny region meeting the president, around 50 of them, plus 20 from Pokot, who pleaded with the president that it is time to say no to FGM. Help us when the Parliament passes the bill, help us assent to the what? Bill to make it law. And in exchange, this is what we want. We want boarding schools, and I'm happy one is being constructed in Kosir sub-county in Kwen, where the daughter of our former health educator is actually the headmistress. One is being finalized in Karita, and
so Honorable Beatrice, enough was done on the law.
Yes, another return was we need a district in Kwen district, and that district was given. So it was agreed in principle. The elders pleaded with the president, assent to this law.
So what you have really told this Honorable House that there was enough sensitization.
Yeah.
So according to you, is the law okay? Should it be implemented in the way it is? Because there are some members who are saying there is no need for a law, it needs to go gradually.
When I rise up, when I go to sleep, my prayer every day is that we should use all methods to save the girl from the harmful practice of female genital mutilation. Let the sensitization go on. Let the police do their work. Let all stakeholders do their work to prevent the girl from undergoing female genital mutilation.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Before I go to Honorable Member, Afande, if you can take that microphone. There is somebody who was alleging here that your kind of arrest is really brutal. Which information would you like to give this House?
The police are well trained, and their method of approach also, they have been taught right how to handle people to be arrested. That is only presumption that the police just go and arrest her. No. That's why I wanted just to clarify to that person that it is misleading statement.
So you are implementing the law?
We are trying to implement the law which is in place. And for the information of the House, Madam Speaker, police don't make the laws, but we implement the laws which is in place. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Afande. Thank you, honorable members. And I thank you for coming to NTV People's Parliament sitting in Kapchorwa here. This is a very passionate and wide topic that we cannot exhaust in one day. I suggest that we make a continuation of this topic next week. I'm still Agnes Nandutu, the Speaker of People's Parliament, and I adjourn this House until next week.